يا من لا شريك له سبحانك يا من لا شريك له سبحانك يا من لا شريك له
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Family Room. 2 weeks ago we talked about conserving water and we talked about our role as Muslims in the society. Today, to follow up on this, we have our guest speaker, we have Bhavna Kamal, the founder of the Muslim Green Team. We all remember this green bag. The green bag was everywhere. We went to Halal Market, Taj Mahal, anywhere you name it, we found that green bag. And that was really helpful. But what happened to the Muslim Green Team after that? Assalamu alaikum, Sister Bhavna.
Wa alaikum salam.
So what happened to the Muslim Green Team?
What happened? Theoretically, the Muslim Green Team is still around.
Okay.
What happened was we had a few years of high activity when there were a lot of people involved. Admittedly, I was doing a lot of it, and I only had one kid, and she was an easy kid, so I had more time.
Yes.
I think when I got busier and some of the other people involved got a little burnt out,
Yes.
then the activity trailed off.
So how many members did you have in the team in the beginning?
So it varied by project. We were first doing this bag project, which was a very simple one, and that required only maybe 3 or 4 people helping. When we did the eco fair, and I don't know if you attended the eco fair or remember, but at the MCA in Santa Clara for 3 years we had a big eco fair, and this was where we brought community organizations, environmental organizations, mostly not Muslim, just general for the community. They came to the MCA, and we also had some of our own within the community Muslim vendors or business people who were doing things that were environmentally savvy or friendly. We had them come and we had a big bazaar and people attended. They learned how to implement positive environmental changes in their own lives, and they could buy environmentally friendly projects. That project took a lot more people, so that was maybe 10 to 12 people, and every year it was a different team. It was whoever was interested. So the core of the team was only maybe 2 or 3 people.
2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And how was this idea born in the beginning? How did you come up with the Muslim Green Team? Why didn't you just think about joining another green team? We have a lot in California.
Yeah. The idea was that, and this was before the green movement became very big. It wasn't as popular at that time. But I think there were a couple of us within Mass Bay Area. So Muslim American Society is the organization that sponsored the Muslim Green Team and hosted the Muslim Green Team. So a few of us were interested in a few things with respect to Islam and the environment. One was we noticed that there was so much waste and also just not awareness about the message of environmentalism within Islam in the Muslim community. And we were interested in teaching the Muslim community itself about this message and promoting this message. And then we also noticed that in the environmental movement in general, there's a lot of interfaith work going on, but there wasn't a strong Muslim voice saying what do Muslims feel about this issue. So that was another thing that we were interested in doing. So teaching the Muslims about their own environmental message in Islam, teaching others about Islam's environmental message, and then really changing the way Muslims were behaving with respect to the environment in terms of garbage and recycling and wasting water and wasting other sorts of resources.
There are actually other groups interested in the environment, and they're Muslims as well. Have you tried to reach out to some of them just so that you all could form an organization or an umbrella where you can work?
Yeah, we tried that, and I think especially when we were doing the eco fair, we were interested in reaching out to these other organizations and saying, let's collaborate. But for some reason, maybe, I think one of the issues is actually broader than just the Muslim Green Team, but everyone is so busy and everyone's resources are spread so thin that it's very hard to find people who can devote so much time to simply one cause. So people who are interested in the environment are also interested in a lot of other social causes. That it's hard to find a core, I found it hard to find a core group of people who could devote a lot of time to this. And the other issue I found, especially when I compare our community to other faith communities, is we do everything on a volunteer basis, which is very difficult. Other communities will actually, the church will actually have a paid position where someone is in charge of environmental stewardship, for example. So then a youth who is interested in the environment can actually make this a career option for them.
Important. It is important to have somebody who is paid to make sure that it continues, because that what happens, this is what happens with volunteering. It's like people get the energy, they do it for a while, but then they get distracted or they get busy, something else will take the place. So how can we bring the Muslim Green Team back?
That's a very good question. I think it takes some sort of critical mass of people, I would say 5 or 6, who are very interested in this topic and can devote all their volunteer time for now, meaning all the free time that they have that they want to devote to serving the community, they will focus on this particular issue, the environment. And if this group of people can come together, and it would help if they also have some expertise in the area. So there was one member of the team, for example, who at the time was a college student studying environmental science. So it's not only just a personal interest, but it was almost like an educational, professional, academic interest. So if you have some people who are also have some expertise in the field and the passion for it, and if you can get a core group together to work together, I think it can be successful. There also needs to be an assessment of what the community actually needs. I think they got tired of the eco fair. It happened 3 years in a row and people were tired of it. So I think there needs to be a needs assessment of what the community needs and who can fulfill that need.
Okay, and have you considered involving high school students as part of community service? Would that work?
Yeah, and we did do that. So Mass Bay Area also has another project called Mass Youth Give, where we encourage youth and older to engage in different volunteer activities. And so we did a collaboration between the Muslim Green Team and Mass Youth Give, and a lot of people came, and we still do that on a regular basis. But I think for Muslim Green Team to thrive, it has to be more than just occasional volunteer activities. It has to be really addressing problems that we have in our community around waste and managing resources and things like that.
Definitely, I'm sure part of it would be like that many houses actually we have more than what we need, and those things could be recycled, they could be given or reused in a certain way. That would help the whole society if we can just give answers to the people where you can donate your stuff, where you can what can you do, or if we can have like kind of a service where you can go pick up the things from the houses. I think a lot of people will be encouraged to.
Yeah. So I think this is all part of like a needs assessment. Like what would it take for the community to really engage in these sorts of projects? I think one thing that's also important is, which touches on how Islam's perspective on the environment is different from maybe other faiths, or from other initiatives that we find in the community, is Muslims aren't acting in a reactionary way to these environmental issues. It's not like we had to wait for a drought for the Prophet ﷺ to tell us that we need to conserve water, right? The Prophet ﷺ said that we don't waste water even if we're by a flowing river. So I think if Muslims can understand that our message isn't that we want to save resources because there's not enough. The idea is that we save resources because as a people, we do not want to waste the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. And if Muslims can understand that, I think they will be motivated on their own to make these changes in their lives, not because of the drought or because of no plastic bags are allowed, or this, just because on their own they feel as part of their religion they shouldn't be doing any wasteful activities.
Do you see any difference between this and between the frugal lifestyle that a lot of people are talking about nowadays?
No, I mean, I think a positive environmental Islamic lifestyle is frugal, but maybe the problem is in people's definitions of frugal, and even sometimes when people live a frugal lifestyle, it can be for the wrong intention. So you need to make sure that your intention is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's also not always feasible for everybody to live a really frugal lifestyle. Sometimes takes a lot of effort and time
Yes.
that
It does.
everybody doesn't necessarily have. So I think we need to allow for a range of lifestyles, you know. That
So if there's a message that you would like to give to the community regarding the environment, what would it be?
it would be that to understand that our environment and all the resources that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us is a gift. And out of the adab or the manners you have with people, let alone with Allah, when somebody gives you a gift, you treat it properly, you don't waste it. And so I think this is the mind frame we need to have, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this earth, and He tells us in the Quran that He has subjugated the earth to us. If the earth is ours, then we need to take care of it, and we need to treat it as a gift, and really think of it as a precious, precious resource.
Thank you, Bavna Kamel. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank you for
today, and thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Family Room. Today we're going to be talking about fasting, accustoming children to fasting. During this month, this is like the month of mercy, Shahr al-Rahmah, Shahr al-Quran. Shahr Ramadan is a chance for all of us to get together as a family and to elevate our iman, our faith. And that works for our children as well. Our children are part of the family, and whatever we're doing, they're going to be interested in it and they're going to be affected by it. So how can we make sure that our kids get the most out of this month? Definitely, for myself, I believe in no TV policy. I know that a lot of people, they say, oh, this is like a cartoon and this is like an Islamic cartoon and this is beneficial. But the fact of the matter is, for me, in Ramadan, we have a rule that there's no TV for the whole month, for anyone, old or little, not even the news. So we can read the news, but we don't allow the TV during this month. Why? Because it has to be special. It has to be devoted to doing, not watching. This is our motto in the house. And at the same time, once Ramadan is done, if you have been away from TV for a whole month, when Ramadan is done, you're very unlikely to go back to your old habits. If someone was watching a lot of TV before Ramadan, it will be like a chance for them to rethink the way they use their time. So how about our children? What if they're not fasting? If they're not watching TV. If they're not watching TV, they should be helping around the house. They should be doing some sort of activities, playing with toys, something real, something tangible, something that they can do. That's fine. They can help preparing iftar. This is like a lot of fun for children, especially the dessert part. They can, if you like dates with cream cheese, they can make sure to get the seed out and to stuff the dates with cream cheese. There are a lot of things that kids could do around us during the month of Ramadan. But the main thing is they have to feel the difference. They have to feel that this month is sacred and that this is a very special time and chance for them to be better versions of themselves. Ramadan is our chance to be better versions of ourselves. Every Ramadan we ask ourselves, what have we done last Ramadan, and are we able to do more this Ramadan? If we are not doing more, then we have to rethink our schedule and make sure we allow an extra ta'ah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, an extra act of kindness, an extra act of worship. How can we make sure that the kids are getting the idea of fasting in Ramadan? Well, we explain to them the idea about fasting, that it's not like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need us to put away our food and to starve or to get thirsty. This is not the moral of the month, but it's self-discipline, self-control. The first reason we fast in the month of Ramadan is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to fast during this month. So that being said, because a lot of people, they come up with very fancy answers. They tell you that we fast in Ramadan to feel for the poor and to feel for the needy and to it's good for our health, and they start listing the health benefits. But the fact of the matter is we fast because Allah asked us to fast, because Allah ordered us to fast. and we obey Allah and we love Him. So this is the main reason. It's out of piety, out of fear and love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we can come up with any other reason that will make us feel better about it, or make it easier on us. But we have to explain to our kids that fasting is what Allah loves and what Allah likes us to do. And then we can explain to them about the poor and the needy, and about how our hearts get softened by the act of fasting, and how it's a chance for us to go stand shoulder by shoulder in the prayer. All the Muslims, poor and rich, white, black, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you're Muslim, you're valued, you're appreciated, and we need you. You're part of this community. So now Ramadan is like coming in the summer, and it's like a hikmah and like a part of the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the month rotates. So the month of Ramadan comes during summer and comes during winter. We've seen short days, and we are seeing longer days right now, because it's like fair, because other countries are going to experience the same thing as well. It's not like we're going to have some countries who are having always short days and others who are always having long days. No, it rotates and it moves. But fasting for 16 hours almost during this month and in the Silicon Valley is hard for little children. So what are we going to do? I know some people who start very early to accustom their kids to fasting, and they're very strict about it. They start when the kids are like 5, no, they should fast, or 6, or even 7. And I would say that we have to follow Islam as the Prophet ﷺ taught us. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that they don't have to fast that early, that they have to grow up before they start fasting, then we have to know that we have time to make it gradual on the kids, and to elevate their strength gradually, and to make them feel proud when they fast. We make them feel like they're looking forward to fasting. It's not something that is forced on them. So if you start, you can wake up the kids for suhoor. You wake up the kids for suhoor even if they're 2 or 3. I suggest that actually, because it is a very good idea. When they wake up for suhoor, they feel like the difference of this month. It's like you're creating childhood memories, and at the same time, they're following your schedule, so they're going to be able to go back to sleep after Fajr like you do. But if they do not wake up for suhoor, then when it's time for you to go to bed, to rest a little bit before you start your day, then it will be time for them to get up and start their day before you, and then you're not going to get a chance to rest. So it's better to keep the whole family on the same schedule. It will be easier on all of us. So once they had suhoor with us, they're going to eat a little bit. Don't expect a child to eat a lot, but they're going to eat a little bit. When they wake up in the morning, they may feel okay for a couple of hours, or they may feel hungry. If they feel hungry, be flexible. Let them eat. Let them have another breakfast. That's okay. A good one, a better one. Let them have their vitamins if this is something. Let them have a drink of water. And then have them start fasting. They can fast for 4 or 5 hours, and then they will get really hungry. They can't take it anymore again. They can have a meal and then continue fasting. The most important thing, in my opinion, and that the part before, the few hours before Maghrib, they should be fasting, so that they would be looking forward to Maghrib, and they would be enthusiastic about preparing the table, setting the table and preparing the food with you, and they will be looking forward as if they have been fasting the whole day. This is like a great feeling, very precious feeling that we should not take away from kids. So the more I prefer, rather than them fasting the first half of the day and then breaking their fast the last half, I would rather they fast the last part of the day, or they fast as much as they could. If they get really hungry, they can eat and then gradually continue fasting. Yes, fasting is about self-control, and they're learning it, but they don't have to learn the whole thing in 1 month and at the age of 5, 6, 7, or even 8. They're still too young, and they have time to learn. And inshallah, if we follow the right steps in the right time, they will be ready to carry on the fasting and to carry on the message and the duty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked them to do. So we start by gradually, and there are like different models, and mothers get so creative. So as I told you, they can fast a few hours, and then they get really hungry, they can't take it anymore, they can fast, they can break their fast and then continue. What if they were fasting and then they came like an hour before Maghrib and they say, no, I cannot take it anymore, I need to eat right now? Okay, in this case, get them busy. Give them a toy to play with, give them an activity to do, give them an art or craft, something that they would enjoy and love, and keep them busy. And before they know it, inshallah, it will be time for Maghrib, and then they can celebrate with all of us. للصائم عند فطره فرحتان. So today, inshallah, we're gonna start preparing our kids for fasting, but keep in mind that this month is not the end of it. If they're little, let them get used to it a little bit this month, and next year, inshallah, they're gonna get used to it a little bit more better, and one day they will be ready for fasting. Don't forget to give them incentives. Don't forget to praise them for the effort if they fast. You can have a little calendar, or even the regular calendar that we have in our kitchens. You can just every day they fast a little bit, just put a star or put something, and every 5 days you can get them a little prize by the end of Ramadan for it. Or you can count, and for their effort during the month, agree on something. You have to have a deal with your child, and they have to feel involved, and they have to feel that they like fasting and they're proud of it. They're gonna tell their friends that they're fasting. Yes, I know some people will say that they should have the intention to do it for Allah. It's true, but for children, telling it to their own friends is very important, and it doesn't interfere with their intention to Allah, because they're very pure. I mean, they don't have any other intention yet. So let them have that, and give them the incentive, praise them, take them with you to Taraweeh to pray with the community. If you are going in the last 10 days of Ramadan for Tahajjud, have them come with you. If they cannot pray the whole Tahajjud, it's too much on them, have them pray at least 2 rak'ahs, and they can have a sleepover next to you. They will feel proud that they're part of this community. They will feel happy that they're part of the Muslim community, and they're part. Ramadan is a very special month for them, and it will make up for other things and other occasions that we see non-Muslims celebrate in this country, in America, or in the West in general. And our kids feel like, oh, how come I cannot celebrate this or celebrate that? Well, we have a whole month to celebrate, so let's make the best out of it, and let's make the most out of it, and let's encourage our kids together to fast and be proud of their accomplishment. Thank you.